Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show Immigration and Settlement with Faryal Hussain. This is our 5th show, and we've been receiving amazing feedback. आप लोगों की फीडबैक में से एक फीडबैक ये भी थी कि ये तो इमिग्रेशन की बातें होती हैं, सेटलमेंट की तो कभी बात नहीं हुई. तो उसी को मैं सोचते हुए आज I brought a very important guest with me who's going to give us very credible and very use-worthy advice that's going to be not just for new immigrants but for us as well. So on our show I have Mr. Waris Shah. He is the managing partner of Famtax Accounting Services, and he's been providing accounting services for over 15 years. Mr. Shah, thank you for joining us and making time for us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
तो जी आप बताइए कि आपके ख्याल में न्यू इमिग्रेंट्स को किन बातों का ख्याल रखना चाहिए when they move to Canada? वीज़ा लग गया, पासपोर्ट भी हो गया, टिकट भी ले ली, सामान पैक कर लिया, everything is done.
जहाज में बैठना है.
जहाज में बैठना है. जहाज में बैठ के जब यहाँ आते हैं, obviously it's so overwhelming moving from one place to another, from one country to another. तो यहाँ पे आके what are the things that they should keep in mind?
जी बिल्कुल, it's very hard and challenging for them, and the first thing they should do when they arrive in Canada, you know, after of course couple of days, 1 or 2 days relaxing mode, you know, and then what they should do, they should get the SIM card, which is the social insurance number, the very first thing they should do. Secondly, they should apply for the driver's license and opening the bank account.
ओके तो अगर सिम कार्ड की बात करते हैं, बिकॉज वी नो ऑल नो पैंडेमिक ने हमें कुछ और सिखाया नहीं सिखाया, ये सिखाया कि काफ़ी चीज़ें ऑनलाइन भी होती हैं, यानी कि आजकल आपको पता है कि परमानेंट रेजिडेंट वीज़ा की कन्फर्मेशन भी ऑनलाइन हो रही है, तो क्या सिम कार्ड ऑनलाइन अप्लाई हो सकता है?
मेरा नहीं ख्याल है, आई थिंक सो. You have to go in person.
ठीक.
और फिर
And obviously, when you go, you have to take all your documents with you.
Of course, your passports, your lending documents. Based on that, they will definitely give you a SIN number, and I think so. They issue in a piece of paper these days now. You don't get a card, I believe.
You don't get a card anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So and thirdly, they have to open a bank account. Okay, they should visit a bank. There are a couple of options here, and every bank offering different variety of benefits and features, and they can shortlist their bank and go and open the bank account. Take with them. Don't forget to take with them the passports and the lending papers.
Right.
And the same time, what they should do, they apply for the credit card, because this is very important. Start building the credit history right from the scratch. And those are the things that they need to consider. And
but there are always, when the बहुत ज़्यादा options हो, when there's so many options, so you get overwhelmed. अब इतने banks हैं, इतने options हैं, इतने accounts हैं. How should a new immigrant compare the accounts? What should they look for?
Very good question. What they should do, they can, before lending, they can shortlist their bank while sitting back home. There are a lot of features. They know better than, how much funds will be in the bank.
Right.
There's so many banks offering a threshold of 5,000 or 6,000. If you keep it in the bank, then you don't pay a fee. Right. So there's so many things attached with the services. So they have to, look around and see who's offering what and so on.
एक और बहुत बड़ा कंसर्न होता है हेल्थ कवरेज का, कि ऑब्वियसली जब यहाँ पे आते हैं तो यहाँ पे पहले से होमवर्क थोड़ा सा बहुत किया होता है हमने कि यहाँ पे क्या क्या हम टैक्सेस पे करते हैं, तो सर्विसेज क्या मिलती है. वन इज़ ऑब्वियसली प्रोविंशियल हेल्थ, तो उसके बारे में क्या हाल है कि व्हाट शुड अ न्यू इमिग्रेंट डू सो दैट दे कैन नॉट फॉल इनटू एनी इश्यूज upon arriving?
Well, when someone lands in Canada, they don't have the health coverage for next 3 months,
right?
Or they have without coverage. So what they should do, they get a health insurance, right, for 3 months at least, so they can cover any unforeseen, for God forbid something happens to them, they cover everything.
Right. So as with anything else, preparation is key, and I always say knowledge is power. So ठीक है, आप इमिग्रेशन आपकी हो गई, जिस भी कैटेगरी में आपने अप्लाई किया, आप क्वालिफाई कर गए. Now you're here. Now you have to take those steps to make your life. Take the right step in the very beginning. First things first.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, I wanted to say something here for them. when they arrive, try to get a job as soon as possible, right? No matter what, and stop eating their investments. That's the main thing. All right, people don't realize and don't get a job for like say 8 months or 9 months, and they eat their investments. So that's very bad. So try to get it as soon as possible.
So I guess, well, now because you can, float your resumes even before coming here.
Yeah.
So you can do all that, but is that what you see, like, because you've been in this industry for so long, is that what you see, that people kind of fall into these, not traps, but pitfalls because of this?
Well, you know what, they are waiting for, don't look back.
Don't look back. That's the thing. You're here now. Don't look back.
If you look back, no matter, I mean, North America, nobody cares who you are. If you are a president, if you are a, nobody cares. So get a job, whatever you're earning. And
at least you're not eating from your savings, right?
Yeah.
Right. No, that's very good advice, because especially when you come here, अब यहाँ पे आते हैं, आप अपने डॉलर्स को रुपीस में या जहाँ से भी आ रहे हैं उसको कन्वर्ट करते हैं, और फिर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता पता भी नहीं चलता है, and then you have all those expenses.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing is to budget your expenses, to have kind of an idea of what to expect, which city you're going to move to. Choose the city very carefully. No?
That's important.
What do you want to say about that?
Well, Toronto, is very expensive now.
Right.
Right.
So why are we living here?
People.
Why are we living here?
Because we have a huge community here.
Yeah, it's true.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And we have all the facility in Toronto. You name it,
yeah,
you have it, right?
It's true.
So people live in, mostly, they pick Toronto somehow.
Toronto, yeah. I've always seen that people pick the MTV areas, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, but that was when I was an immigration officer. Those used to be the destination of choice. Now, Canada is so big, कहीं भी जा सकते हैं. आपको फैसिलिटीज़ वही मिलेंगी जो आपको मेन शहर में मिलती हैं. थोड़ा सा अपने कंफर्ट जोन से, जब आपने एक रिलोकेट होना ही है, so why not to a new city? But then again, everybody makes a decision based on their own circumstances.
Absolutely.
Any common mistakes that you find people make when they come here as new immigrants?
Well, yes, there are a lot actually.
A lot?
Yeah.
Okay, people, listen, there's a lot.
Yeah, because they don't consider building their credits. Okay, most importantly, building credit, because their mortgage needs, wherever they go, they need a credit history, right?
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, wherever they go, they will need your credit history.
Yeah,
So what you're saying is that one of the biggest mistakes is people don't know the importance of building up credit.
Yeah, exactly, and high interest rate credit cards.
Right.
Okay, they picked high interest rate credit cards. Also, they locked them with the. Okay, and they please avoid in the locked-in contracts, meaning don't consider yourself to locked in with any service provider. Like 2-year contract or 3-year contract, avoid them.
So when you're saying don't limit yourself or don't bind yourself into contracts early on, and just go as a pay as you go, या इस किस्म की कोई भी चीज़, क्योंकि क्या होगा कि आप जब lock in हो जाएंगे, they have all those terms and conditions which nobody reads. I didn't read.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever read them.
Yeah,
and then what happens is that when you want to end the service, then you have to pay a hefty charge.
Exactly.
Right? So again, it's about doing your homework, doing your preparation, and if you have a question, Mr. Waris Shah, his number is appearing on the screen. You can contact him. He can advise what to do once you are here. What else? What would you advise to students who are here? Because permanent residents is different, students different.
Well, I'm coming back to the point. I missed 2 points, very important. Those two just came in my mind, that and not filing taxes is the biggest problem. They don't file taxes. If you don't file your taxes, you don't get your benefits. All the benefits in Canada attach with taxes.
इसको थोड़ा सा explain करेंगे. I'm sorry, because I think that this is a very major issue that we have in our mind, misconception that taxes नहीं file करेंगे लेकिन benefits मिलने चाहिए. So इसको ये जो आपने कहा ना कि they are linked, उसको explain कीजिए.
मैं बताता हूँ आपको. कनाडा में आपको काफ़ी benefits मिलते हैं, ठीक है? अगर आपके 18 साल से
so which benefits are
I'm talking about child tax benefit, Canada child tax benefit.
Right.
अगर आपके बच्चे 18 साल से कम उम्र के हैं So you get a non-taxable monthly benefit
Right.
from the government.
Right.
Right? But you have to apply for that. Once you landed, you have to apply for that. All right? So once you applied, then the benefits start coming in. All right? But it stops. When you
Okay.
don't file your taxes next year, which is your first year of filing tax.
Right.
All right? If you don't file it, the benefit stops. So you have to submit your tax in order to get the benefits. There are several more benefits, all right? Ontario Trillium, I'm talking about Ontario because I live in Ontario
Right.
mainly. So Ontario Trillium benefit, all right, which is another benefit. And there is another one, GST, HST credit, all right? So if you don't file, so once you file your taxes first year, those two benefits, I mean Ontario Trillium benefits and GST starts coming in. When you don't file your taxes next year,
Everything
I mean the
stops.
second year, that stops. The benefit runs from July till June.
Right.
All right, based on the previous year's income. All right.
So if you haven't filed your taxes,
So
you don't know what your income
filing
is.
tax, yeah. It doesn't matter if you have no income. Even if you have no income, file your taxes in order to get the benefit. Even if you have zero income, you get the benefit. The benefit never stops. All right. So this is very important. So people forget to file taxes. They need to file tax in order to keep going. And last one, they forget to make emergency funds for the rainy days. That's the thing.
I have to write that one down because I haven't, so.
Yeah. So you know what? Let people forget it. They keep spending. Earning is limited, and anything could happen to anyone, right? And yeah, this is very important.
One important question is moving from your country of origin to Canada. You make that informed decision yourself. So now it's time to make informed decisions about your finances as well. Preparation. Here, hopefully you have family or friends who can support you, but probably some of us won't. So you have to rely on your own wits, and then also people like Mr. Waris Shah who can help with questions that you may have regarding your finances and accounts. Thank you so much for being with us, and hopefully when we invite you again, you will honor us by coming here.
Pleasure is mine.
It's time for a break now, and we'll be back with the rest of the show. And I have tons of questions. I've chosen a few, and I will answer them. See you in a while.
जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी।
मुस्लिम वेलफेयर सेंटर के जरिए आप पाकिस्तान के रेगिस्तान में प्यासों को पानी पिला सकते हैं, गरीब बच्चों की तालीम और माली परवरिश कर सकते हैं, बीमारों का मुफ्त इलाज करवा सकते हैं। ज़कात, सदक़ात या फिदिया देने के लिए आज ही हमें फोन करें 1-866-754-3111।
A harsh but true reality is that clean drinking water is inaccessible to many people living in third world countries. With the support of our donors, Muslim Welfare Canada has been successful in providing clean water through the digging of water wells and the installation of hand pumps for people living in remote and desert regions. Donate a well or a hand pump, call 1-866-754-3111 or visit mwcanada.org. Muslim Welfare Canada has made a concerted effort to lead the fight against child labor, poverty, and illiteracy in third world countries through the generous support of our donors. Both girls and boys receive free, good quality education. Help educate a needy child for just $1 a day or $30 per month. Donate generously. Call 1-866-754-3111 or visit mwcanada.org. Since 1993, MWC food banks have provided individuals and families with non-perishable food, halal meat, and essential household items. We have a special focus on the needs of our children. Over 10,000 families across Canada rely on MWC food banks to supplement their food requirements. We serve in Scarborough, Mississauga, and in First Nations communities in Ontario, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. Your generosity can literally change lives. It's time now, more than ever, to look after your neighbor. Charity starts at home. Please donate generously to Muslim Welfare Canada Emergency COVID-19 Food Fund. Call 1-866-754-3111 or visit mwcanada.org. This Eid, many families around the world will be facing severe hunger and barely surviving on the brink of starvation. Don't forget them. You can make a difference through Muslim Welfare Canada's Global Qurbani and Zabiha initiative and help provide meals to those who need it the most. Please consider donating Qurbani meat to MWC's food banks in the Greater Toronto Area in Canada. Call us at 1-866-754-3111.
Welcome back after the break. You are watching Immigration Settlement with Farehal Hussain on Voice of Toronto TV. अभी हमारे साथ थे मिस्टर वारिस शाह जो हमें एडवाइस दे रहे थे, फाइनेंशियल एडवाइस अबाउट व्हाट टू डू इफ़ यू आर अ न्यू इमिग्रेंट। पूरे वीक के दौरान आप लोगों ने काफ़ी सवाल भेजे, सो टुडे आई बी आंसरिंग about 7 or 8 questions, and hopefully they will be useful to you or somebody you know. First question I got is, how do I make an officer believe that my sister is a real visitor? इसका जवाब यह है कि ऑफिसर को हमें कुछ भी बिलीव कराने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, ऑफिसर को मुतमईन करने की। दैट्स द रेगुलेशन। जी हाँ, कमिंग फ्रॉम अ फॉर्मर इमिग्रेशन ऑफिसर, द रिक्वायरमेंट्स आर दैट द ऑफिसर नीड्स टू बी सेटिस्फाइड दैट द पर्सन इज़ अ जेन्युइन विजिटर। अब एक ऑफिसर को आप कैसे मुतमईन कर सकते हैं? दैट्स ऑल बेस्ड ऑन द डॉक्यूमेंट्स। आपकी सिस्टर का इंटरव्यू तो नहीं होगा, ना ही ऑफिसर ने आपकी सिस्टर को घर पे कॉल करके पूछना है कि आप जेन्युइन विजिटर हैं कि नहीं। इट्स ऑल बेस्ड ऑन द डॉक्यूमेंट्स। डिपेंडिंग ऑन द सिचुएशन, डॉक्यूमेंट्स की चेकलिस्ट जो है वो एप्लीकेंट के हिसाब से बननी चाहिए। मिनिमम रिक्वायरमेंट जो है वो तो इमिग्रेशन की चेकलिस्ट में होती है, बट देन एडिशनल डॉक्यूमेंट्स मे बी सबमिटेड डिपेंडिंग ऑन द सर्कमस्टेंसेस ऑफ योर सिस्टर। Yes, I am a former immigration officer. I worked for the government of Canada for 16 years. मेरी details जो हैं आपकी screen पे आ रहे होंगे, so you can jot them down, and if you have a question, feel free to contact me. Another question I received, I submitted my work permit application and then got married. What to do now? Well, you got married, so that's congratulations. But now you need to inform immigration. IRCC हर एक correspondence में बताते हैं कि if your circumstances have changed, you need to inform us. कौन से circumstances? Your address has changed, your contact details have changed, your marital status has changed. God forbid there was a death in the family or there's a birth in the family. All these things have to be notified. All these things have to be addressed, and the immigration has to be informed of any of these changes. So since आपकी application जब submit की थी work permit की, you were single, and now your marital status has changed, that is going to change a lot of things in the assessment of the application. The question is now how to inform immigration. You can send a web form with your details, obviously आपके file number के साथ, with a copy of your marriage certificate advising of this change in status, and hopefully IRCC will contact you with the next steps. Study permit was refused. Should I apply in the same college or different college before reapplying? This is one question that I get at least once or twice a month. कि एक दफ़ा स्टडी परमिट रिफ्यूज़ हो गया, अब हम चाह रहे हैं कि किसी और कॉलेज में एडमिशन लेके तो फिर अप्लाई करें। There are two schools of thoughts. One is, yes, stay in the same college and reapply and try to figure out why was the first application refused. But the other school of thought is that do go to a different college, different program, because probably the program was not in sync with your educational needs. So the key is to find out why the application was refused. And how do we do that? I've told you in the previous shows, file an ATIP request, because ATIP request से ही हमें मालूम पड़ सकेगा कि ऑफिसर ने application को क्यों refuse किया. What is ICT? A friend recommended this. Very smart friend. ICT is actually an immigration category meant for business people. I think I should dedicate a whole show to this. ICT basically means intra-company transferee. It's an international mobility program जिसके थ्रू आप अपनी कंपनी से किसी एक एम्प्लॉई को कनाडा भेजते हैं एक नई कंपनी खोलने के लिए, आपकी अपनी कंपनी की ब्रांच खोलने के लिए. I think I will have another show, at least the first half of a show, about ICT, because after the closure of the owner-operator program, ICT is the next one that everyone seems to be interested in, just like your friend. I sent many web forms on my husband's case and no reply. What should I do? I do get that complaint many times as well. Web form bheje, jawab nahi aaya. It's been months and months, no update on a file. This is the time that you could probably approach your MP. He or she is there to represent you. But do keep in mind, MP जो है वो एक फाइल को इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं कर सकते, एक ऑफिसर के डिसीजन को इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं कर सकते. They can get an updated information on your application. So my advice to you is to contact your local MP, and you can do it over the phone, you can do it by email. They will send you a form. Fill in the form, write down exactly what happened, write down in a sequential order, chronological order, dates के साथ, and then they can contact IRCC and get an update on your file. As I said, MPs cannot influence the decision of the officer, but at least they can get you a response as to what is happening on the file. I'm a PR and PR card will expire on 10th September 2021. I want to come back to Canada, but due to travel restrictions, I can't. What should I do? Yes, 10th September is coming and your PR card will expire. There's two options. Either somehow find your way back to Canada before the date, or अगर आप ट्रैवल नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि फ़्लाइट्स नहीं खुली और आपके PR कार्ड एक्सपायर हो गया, the option is to apply for a PRTD, Permanent Resident Travel Document. It will be a document that's going to allow you to enter Canada once so that you can apply for your PR card. Again, you have to meet the requirements of a permanent resident, the residence requirements, and all other obligations. So the PRTD is only applied when you're outside Canada, and a PR card renewal is applied when you are inside Canada. My refugee case was approved and I want to add my son from my first marriage. इस क्वेश्चन से थोड़ी सी ये समझ आ रही है कि आपने अपने सन को पहले नहीं इंक्लूड किया और अब इंक्लूड करना चाह रहे हैं. This is a very tricky question that I cannot answer on this platform. You probably need to contact me directly because it depends कि आपकी next stage कहाँ पे पहुँची है. आपने अपनी एप्लीकेशन फॉर परमानेंट रेजिडेंस फाइल कर दी है कि नहीं, आपने अपने रेफ्यूजी केस के बारे में आपने अपने रेफ्यूजी केस में अपने सन के बारे में क्या लिखा था. So this is a very specific question that I cannot answer on this platform. Please don't ask specific questions, make them more generic ताकि ज़्यादा लोगों का फ़ायदा हो सके. My wife got an email from Immigration for her Canadian citizenship online test, but she's not comfortable to take the test online. What should she do? Test the देने के date जो has 21 days from the date you received the invitation. So please don't forget to inform Immigration that your wife cannot take the test, she's not able to, she's not proficient or confident, so that they can schedule an in-person interview when they start the in-person on citizenship test. My wife got an email from Immigration asking her to take a Canadian citizenship test online, but she's not comfortable. What should she do? Citizenship tests have a deadline of 21 days from the day आपको invitation receive होती है. So do make sure that either you take the online test within those days or inform Immigration that you cannot take the test so that they can reschedule you and hopefully reschedule you when they will start doing the in-person testing again. These are all the questions for today. This is not just my show, this is your show as well. If you have suggestions, questions, comments, please write to me. You can follow us, you can on Facebook, on YouTube as well. This is the 5th episode of the show on Voice of Toronto TV. See you next week. Goodbye and good night.
This Eid, many families around the world will be facing severe hunger and barely surviving on the brink of starvation. Don't forget them. You can make a difference through Muslim Welfare Canada's Global Qurbani and Zabiha initiative and help provide meals to those who need it the most. Please consider donating Qurbani meat to MWC's food banks in the Greater Toronto Area in Canada. Call us at 1-866-754-3111.